when I spoke to Lockheed's now former CFO last week, one of the things that he mentioned in terms of the cost-cutting efforts at that company is that they are reducing that business travel by 25%. So some of that just won't come back at some of these companies as we do see these cost-cutting measures put in place. And the fact that you can do more with Zoom, which I think also speaks to, again, with all the uncertainty around Delta, Zoom stock being up this week, too.
Yep, it's definitely yesterday with BlackRock and Amazon and Microsoft and Wells pushing back their return to office. Companies are trying to adapt and stay on top of obviously rapidly changing developments. There's the opening bell, CNBC real-time exchange. And the big board, it's AMTD International, a financial group based in Hong Kong, celebrating its second listing anniversary. At the Nasdaq, Nuvalent, a biopharma targeting cancer, also celebrating its recent IPO. Yeah, I know we're going to talk some Virgin Galactic in a bit.
Oh, yeah.
But $450K, you'd probably pay that, right, for a trip to space?
If I had it lying around somewhere. It's incredible. I mean, it's sort of in line with what I think analysts had been anticipating in terms of the fact that we would see an increase in those ticket prices. But they did announce, Virgin Galactic, on the earnings call last night, they did announce that those ticket sales are reopened. They even expected they could see some repeat customers at $450,000. That's about double what they sold their first 600 reservations for a number of years ago. Also announcing that their next test flight is going to be a revenue-generating one for the Air Force. That's going to happen late September. Then they're going to have another test flight after some refurbishments and some updates to the vehicles. And commercial service expected to launch later next year, so Q3 of next year. So that timeline essentially slipping, which is also kind of notable since Blue Origin is already operational and is already planning on sending more paying passengers later this year. The other thing I would just note, something to keep an eye on, Boeing. It's the other name that we don't really talk about very much when it comes to commercial human spaceflight. Another black eye for this company, given the fact that they are having some technical issues with their Starliner capsule. That is a program that they have taken charges on in the past. They were looking to launch it on Tuesday. That was scrubbed. Unclear when or if that is going to get off the ground in the coming weeks, because that launch window is closing rapidly, too.
Yeah. The banks, we definitely got to hit on. Goldman 390 is just a couple bucks away now from an all-time high. JPM is going to be revisiting its 50-day for the first time since July 12. You know, David, we asked Jim earlier in the week why the bank shares hadn't reacted more to the decline in yields. Was it complacency? Was it just investors being patient? If they were being patient, they're being rewarded today.
Yeah, they are. Obviously, net interest margin continues to be something the market focuses on. And when you start to see sort of Treasury complex decline significantly in yield, the banks typically do take a hit. They did not earlier in the week. They're all up still substantially, although after earnings, we pointed this out many times, not much. I mean, many of them reported what we would have considered to have been strong numbers, but most of the stocks in question here actually went down in the days following those reports, Morgan. But, overall, it's still quite strong. Listen, Goldman Sachs shares up 47, 48% for the year at this point. Remember, they've got a lot of different focuses there, both on asset gathering and permanents, or what they consider permanent recurring fees from permanent capital. And then Marcus, we don't want to lose sight of that. I don't know if they'll pay a little more as we get to 1.2, 1.25, 1.3. I know at JP Morgan, I think I get 0.001 maybe in my so that's great. I'm really happy about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it really incentivizes saving, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Really does.
It does.